Maldives on the verge of collapse?
The Maldives is at high risk of external and overall debt distress.
Will the Maldives become another Sri Lanka?
Well, the political and administrative mess in the Maldives shows signs of spiraling out of control as well.
The Maldives, a group of beautiful islands in the Indian Ocean, face big challenges that make people worry about what's ahead. Rising sea levels and political issues are making it hard for the Maldives to stay stable. Some people compare the situation to Sri Lanka, another nearby country with its own problems. In today's video, we'll look at what's going on in the Maldives and see if it's similar to what is in Sri Lanka. A special session of the Maldives Parliament was called to seek parliamentary approval for President Mohamed Muizzu's cabinet ministers, but it was disrupted by lawmakers fighting with one another. The opposition Maldivian Democratic Party, MDP, and MPs from the People's National Congress, PNC, and Progressive Party of the Maldives, PPM, the ruling coalition, engaged in altercations. Videos that went viral online and were also circulated by Adhadu, a Maldivian online news source, claimed that MPs started kicking and punching each other, causing chaos in Parliament. A few participants were also seen yanking one another off the podium in the extensively circulated videos. Adhadu claimed that members of the ruling alliance had forbidden the opposition MPs from entering the chambers.
Everyone who was not in power took on the attributes of a certain degree of anti-Indian pronouncements.
Their action was prompted by the Maldives Democratic Party, MDP, which holds a majority in the parliament, refusing to allow 4 members of the ruling party to be appointed to Muizzu's cabinet. But why are people suggesting that the Maldives might walk on Sri Lanka's footsteps? The Maldives and Sri Lanka, both situated in the Indian Ocean, share proximity yet exhibit distinct socioeconomic and political landscapes. In recent years, discussions have emerged regarding the trajectory of the Maldives, with some speculating that it may follow a path similar to Sri Lanka's. Historical background. Both the Maldives and Sri Lanka boast rich histories shaped by diverse influences. The Maldives, with a legacy of maritime trade and Islamic culture, evolved as a collection of atolls governed by sultanates. In contrast, Sri Lanka's history reflects a tapestry of indigenous civilizations, colonial rule by the Portuguese, Dutch, and British, and subsequent independence in 1948. Economic development and tourism. In recent decades, tourism has emerged as a significant driver of economic growth in both nations. The Maldives, renowned for its luxury resorts and pristine beaches, has capitalized on its natural beauty to attract tourists from around the globe. Similarly, Sri Lanka has positioned itself as a popular tourist destination, leveraging its rich cultural heritage and diverse landscapes. However, challenges such as political instability and security are concerns that periodically disrupted Sri Lanka's tourism industry, highlighting the vulnerability of over-reliance on this sector. Political landscape. Political dynamics in the Maldives and Sri Lanka have witnessed shifts and upheavals, albeit with distinct manifestations. The Maldives experienced a period of autocratic rule under President Maumoon Abdul Gayoom before transitioning to multi-party democracy in 2008. However, subsequent years have been marked by political turmoil, including the controversial impeachment of President Mohamed Nasheed in 2012. Sri Lanka, on the other hand, grappled with a decades-long civil war between the government and Tamil separatists, which ended in 2009. Despite the cessation of hostilities, ethnic tensions and political polarization persist, contributing to periodic bouts of instability.
Huge crowds gathered outside the president's compound demanding his resignation. They had traveled from across the country to join the demonstration, which went ahead despite the authorities attempting to impose a curfew.
Environmental challenges. Both nations face existential threats posed by climate change, albeit to varying degrees. The Maldives, composed of low-lying coral islands, are particularly vulnerable to rising sea levels and extreme weather events. Efforts to mitigate these impacts include initiatives such as the Safe Islands Project, which aims to relocate communities from at-risk areas to safer locations. In Sri Lanka, climate change manifests through phenomena such as erratic rainfall patterns and sea level rise, impacting agricultural and coastal communities.
And heavy rain lashed the island nation of Sri Lanka, resulting in severe flash flooding. 6 districts in South Indian state of Tamil Nadu have also been put on red alert. This is the low pressure area, and the Bay of Bengal is likely to turn into a depression.
However, the government's response has been criticized for its perceived lack of urgency and inadequate adaptation measures. Social dynamics and human rights. The Maldives and Sri Lanka grapple with social issues and human rights concerns, albeit within different contexts. In the Maldives, debates surrounding religious conservatism and the protection of individual freedoms have emerged amid efforts to balance Islamic traditions with democratic principles. Instances of political repression and curtailment of free speech have drawn international scrutiny, raising questions about the state of democracy in the country. In Sri Lanka, post-war reconciliation efforts have been marred by allegations of human rights abuses, particularly regarding the treatment of ethnic minorities and accountability for war crimes. The government's response to these challenges has been a subject of contention, with calls for greater inclusivity and justice.
It would have a huge impact on the country's economy.
While the Maldives and Sri Lanka share certain parallels in their socio-economic and political landscapes, they also exhibit distinct trajectories shaped by unique historical, geographical, and cultural factors. The conjecture that the Maldives may become another Sri Lanka reflects concerns surrounding issues such as political instability, environmental vulnerability, and socioeconomic development. However, a nuanced understanding of each nation's complexities is essential to avoid oversimplification and enable informed analysis of their respective futures. As both countries navigate the challenges of the 21st century, lessons can be gleaned from their experiences to inform strategies for sustainable development, resilience, and inclusive governance. As we wrap up our discussion about whether the Maldives might face collapse like Sri Lanka, it's clear that both countries have their own unique challenges. While they share some similarities, such as political issues and environmental concerns, each nation has its own story. Moving forward, it's important for the Maldives to address these challenges head-on by taking proactive steps to protect the environment and ensure stability. By learning from the experiences of other countries and working together, the Maldives can build a brighter future for its people and preserve its beautiful islands for generations to come.